the library. We've all been to a historic library. We've all enjoyed the smell of a historic library. But what is it and what does it mean? When at UCL Center for Sustainable Heritage, we've recently been asked to assess the environment at another historic library at St. Paul's Cathedral, the Wren Library, an incredible place. And it has such an intensive smell of old books. And we were also asked, for the first time really, I was actually quite taken aback by the brief, we were asked, whatever you do, please preserve the smell. It's so important to our audience. It's so important how people perceive the library. So that was quite an important message in our research.
PTERainbow.
And indeed, smell is an important way of how we communicate with the environment. This piece of research was done by an advertising company, because advertisers are so interested in how we interact with each other and the environment. And we see that the majority of people use sight, obviously, to interact with the environment. But on the second place, we see that smell is also very, very important. It is also a very, very interesting sense. I'll talk a bit about that later. Hearing is obviously very important, and all three of those represent how we interact with heritage environments. We look at things, we smell things, we hear creaking doors and floors. Interestingly, taste is also up there somewhere. Now, we don't get to taste the Mona Lisa very often, but I'll just tell you that in a science cafe I was involved in a couple of years ago in Norwich, and when I spoke about acidic paper, it took a second for somebody in the first row to try tasting it to see whether the acids could be tasted as well. Yes, smell is very central to how we perceive the environment. The sense of smell is actually located so centrally in our brain, it's so close to the limbic system of our brain, and it's so phylogenetically old that the way that we perceive our environment through smell is not only important, but it's also very instinctive. Humans, tens of thousands of years ago, used to use smell to recognize ripe fruit and food in general. And like it or not, we still use it today. And the odor memory, olfactory memory, is so accurate that we remember 60% of all odors, even up to a year. I find this just absolutely fascinating. I can't remember a page I read a year